How's it going, Jemi's World is here. Yes, we are here and back with another video. I'm getting you guys my February reading wrap up. As you guys all know, February is Black Excellence Month, and we compilated a bunch of Black excellence in our book selection stack. I have 5 books. I have 3 physical and 2 on audio. Yes, you heard it here first, audio. This is my first time actually committing to audio, and it wasn't that bad. We're gonna get right into it. Before we do that, make sure you guys hit that like button, comment I am new if you are new here, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for all notifications, and let's get into it. So the first book we have to kick off February is none other than this amazing masterpiece. I have the full length review on my account. I will link that in the description. We have The Reformatory. This is by Tanana Reeve, and we have a 5-star as soon as we kick off the month. It took me an entire 7 days to complete this book. And when I mean it was a challenge as far as completing, because I was so overwhelmed and full of just so many different emotions. Tanana Reeve, with her writing, with how she wrote the characters, the setting, the description, she did phenomenal. And one thing about it, I annotated the life out of this book, and it will stick with me throughout my entire reading journey. I will definitely be recommending this to everyone I know, readers and non-readers, because this is a story that needs to be spread across this entire community. After I completed that amazing novel, I got into another book that I never hear about on Book Talk or BookTube. This is none other than Smoke Kings. This is by Jamal Mayfield. This book is about a political activist. His name is Nate Evers. He is trying to get the Black community their reparations. A lot of police brutality has been happening ever since Emmett Till, and this is 62 years after that brutal and harsh and heinous thing that took place. Nate Evers has a group of people. He is trying to go down the lineage of people who have committed these terrible crimes and did not get convicted or prosecuted or pushed further in the criminal justice system. He has a group who are coming together and getting the rightful things that the Black community deserve. They are getting people who have recently done crimes. They are getting people from ex-KKK members. If they were a part of crimes from 1860 to 1960, they are going all the way down the family tree to figure out who to grab and who to get reparations for. And on top of that, they're using the money that they are getting these people to give for the Black community in a positive way. They end up getting this white supremacist leader, and once they do that, they have met their match, or have they? I have not seen this book around at all, and I've probably seen it one time on Book Talk and didn't hear about it ever since. This story was so complex. It was more so character than plot driven, but when the plot came, it came heavy. And overall, I rated this a 3.75 star. I will definitely still be recommending this story. If you are a character driven more than a plot driven person, this is going to be your bag. The only thing I would say is I wish that it was more layered as far as the plot, and really like giving us a very like a better transition throughout the story. But overall, it was well put together, and I will definitely be waiting and anticipating the next time Jamal Mayfield drops another story. After that second book, I got right into a book that has a movie and that just got nominated for an Oscar. We have The Nickel Boys. This is by Colson Whitehead. This book is supposed to be about a reformatory school as well, and these 2 boys meet in the school, and one of the boys that it starts off with is breaking down his life outside of the school and how all these things are transpiring through Brown versus Board, through a lot of the events that were happening early civil rights era, on top of it transitioning to be non-segregated, and how it was affecting him in the school system as well as in his workplace. This book was so phenomenal. It's only 210 pages. It It was so impactful. It had so many details. It has so many historical elements inside of it, and I will definitely be recommending this book 1,000 times over. This was an easy 5-star read for me. And on top of that, it got a Pulitzer Prize, and I see why, because it is phenomenal and more people need to talk about it. After the third book, I decided to try an audio because I do a lot of work, and when I'm working, I really can't like pick up a book and read. But with audio for me, like fiction wise, it's been really hard for me to really try to get into it and really let it like soak in inside of me while I'm like doing my work and stuff. I decided to pick up a memoir. This is my first memoir of this year, and it is called Who's That Girl by Eve. I've been waiting to read this book for a very long time, and I'm like, why not use a free trial? I used Everett, and why not try out a memoir I've been trying to read for the longest? Eve is going through her memoir and explaining her early childhood, how it was living in her home as a kid, as well as what type of personality she had throughout high school and getting signed and going through the music industry and being a woman through the industry, and just layers and layers of her career as an entertainer, and then finding her late husband now, and just going through like her mental health things and certain elements where a lot of people didn't know, like when she had a certain car accident, and then if she has a couple mental health issues that she started breaking down as far as anxiety, and really bringing us something very vulnerable and deep. And I really love this memoir. And one thing about me is, if this is in your own words and in your own context as far as your life, I'm not rating it anything lower than a 5-star. This is your story, and who am I to rate that? So this is an automatic 5-star just based on that. And I would definitely recommend a lot of women to check out Eve. I used to listen to her as a kid. I love Eve. I used to watch the Eve show. I watched her on Barbershop, and I was just excited to see that she came out with a book. And now knowing her in a deeper level and what she went through in the early 2000s, it really shows me that she's progressed and she is genuinely happy. And the final book I read, this was on audio. I listened to a book going out on a whim, literally just searching up books, trying to figure out what my vibe would be while I'm working. I found a book that's called Inner City Hoodlums. It's by Donald Goines. And then I started doing research on Donald Goines, and I noticed that he dropped these books in the early 70s and 80s and early 90s. This book in particular is about these two young kids who are trying to navigate and survive and feed their families. One kid's name is Johnny, his friend, his name is Buddy, and they are just running the streets, trying to figure out how to survive and make money to make sure their families are taken care of. They go to these shipping containers and steal things to try to resell it and make money. One incident happens at a shipping container and it all goes downhill. This book is based in the 70s, so it had a lot of elements that I'm not used to, and it made me laugh. A lot of the other elements were very triggering and very disturbing, as far as like, just check the trigger warnings just check the trigger warnings. I don't want to give anything away. There was a inner city pimp. His name is the Duke, and he owned this whole operation where he got underage girls to work under him, as well as selling drugs and making money and just surviving in the streets of LA. Overall, this story, the narrator bodied it. He did every voice, and he did a phenomenal job, from the women to the kids to the police, because the other POV showed two detectives trying to figure out where all these crimes and who's linked to these crimes is happening. And the biggest element in the story was nunchucks. I recommend you guys to check out Donald Goines. If you are into urban street and urban literature, make sure you go check him out. He is one of the OGs in the game, and I will definitely be doing my research on him, as well as getting into his other late books on audio once they come out on Libby. And yeah, thank you guys for staying to the end of this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for auto notifications. Again, I thank you for all the support, and let me know in the comments what your favorite read of February was. My favorite read was The Reformatory, and I cannot wait to hear you guys' thoughts.